Okay. The phone better not frelling ring this time. Really. Because I'm downstairs today, because light upstairs in my room is hellish and no one's home, so I can film wherever I want. Back to the matron patron subject, though, for the YouTube Pagan Challenge. I have worked with several goddesses. I do work with them still. I do not have one that I'm particularly, this is the one, and she's the only one I work with. I don't really work that way in general. Persephone. What? Okay. I'm going to rip the phone out of the wall. Where were we? Matron. Matron. All right, Persephone. Persephone I discovered in 3rd grade. I've talked a lot about this, actually, over a lot of these videos. I really worked with her for a very long time. She's still a mythology that calls to me greatly. Not as much as it used to, but she's still a huge part of my life just because she was the first. She is the first goddess I ever really connected with, and I really love her for that. I've worked with Eris as far as in a Discordian movement way, not in Eris in the old school Greek kind of way, where she like squashes your whole family because you like told her her hair looked bad. In Greek mythology, she's really a nasty character, but if you read the Principia Discordia, you find out why. I work Eris in an aspect of chaos, and in that aspect of chaos of bringing creativity into life and using that to create change, and also really fueling creativity, because a lot of times creativity for me comes about this jumble of nothingness, of like things that don't really make sense on their own, but when you put them together, they really do make sense. And so Eris, especially in the realm of the Discordian movement, for me, has been very powerful, as has Lilith. Lilith was someone I worked with a lot in my mid-20s, mid-20s to 30-ish. She was very predominant in what I was dealing with at that point in time, and kind of needing a really angsty kind of gal to help me work through a lot of that, of those issues that were occurring at that point in time. So I worked with her. All of these people, it's not like I have discarded them. They're still very much part of my spirituality in my life. So they're all still there. But, it's like the emphasis has changed over time as I've gotten older, and my needs have also changed. So, and Lilith is a great one to help release, to help protect, to bring in empowerment. She has some great mythology behind her, and there's kind of what we refer to as a goddess. She probably would have technically been considered a demon back in her day during Mesopotamian Sumeria, because she has claw feet, and usually demons are portrayed with claw feet in Sumerian mythic art. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so, because she's like dealing with cherubim and fiery swords, and she's kicking it. She's powerful. And we have a certain way that we think of demons. And the thing with ancient mythology is we put it in the context of what we know. No matter how much we work to step out of our own ethnicity and not be ethnocentric when dealing with ancient cultures or other cultures as an anthropologist, it's really hard to step out completely out and be kind of a tabula rasa. It doesn't happen. And so you have this issue of us overlaying our culture upon another culture that's infinitely older than ours. And what was understood back then is no longer understood. It doesn't take long for those understandings, those cultural understandings to, whoop, they're gone. And you're like, I don't get it. And that's because it was understood and no one felt the need to explain why it is, because everyone got it. It's just part of your culture. So I think too, like when you start hearing, like Lilith is a demon, don't get your knickers knotted, because it's a whole different framework. And even if she started out in a demonic, and I know, because Ereshkigal too, you look at Ereshkigal within that same mythic system, and it's just not very nice. You're also talking about gods who like get drunk, make people, and they're like all screwed up. So I don't think there's quite the same connotations that we probably have. Who knows? We don't know. We think this, but we don't know. So Lilith, hugely empowering for me in my mid-20s. And really, I forgot Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin too has been influential. Fell in love with her in my 20s. I have a statue of her. I found this statue and just fell in love with it. And I coveted it forever, and then it went on sale at Golden Braid in Salt Lake, and it was still around $100, which at that point in time was a substantial sum of money for what I had for spare cash to drop at one time. And I went and bought her, and I still have her. She sits on my bookcase now. And bringing in love, and that kind of enlightenment of her staying on the earth to continue on working with people directly, as opposed to ascending and becoming not involved anymore. She made a choice to stay within this earthly realm and help people. So I don't have one. Frigg right now is huge. Ever since someone was, well, they didn't whisper. They said Frigg. It was like clear as day to me. Exploring her, still learning her. Gods, horned god, I've worked with in the past. I haven't really been as active on the masculine side as I have been on the divine feminine side. And I think, it's growing up Lutheran and Christian, you get lots of male masculine deity energy, and you don't get hardly any female energy. So I have definitely had like a huge goddess slant to everything. And recently Odin's become central along with Frigg. And really just still getting to know them. You don't just like bam say, hey, I have this relationship and know them now. Probably, you have to study them. You have to get to know them by experiencing how they influence your life and things like that. So, it's a process of getting to know these certain deities and working with them for me. But as far as having like one god or goddess that is my primary, is the one only, I don't have one of those. I have many people I work with, and a lot of how I do work at this point in time is more with Fae and working with those energies, and fallen angels have been working their way into of working with them. So in many ways right now it's more journey work and working with fairy and things like that than it is actual worship of deity and working with gods and goddesses. Not that it doesn't still happen. There's still very much there and part of my life. I'm trying to think. I don't have that much to say on this one now that the phone has stopped ringing. And maybe that's why I don't have as much, because I lost my train like 5 times. Okay. Yeah, I just don't have like one deity, God, goddess that speaks to me. See, I shouldn't have mentioned the freaking phone. Okay, phone's telling me we're done with question number 8. I'll talk to you.